Like you look at the thing and you say you want to be that, but somewhere in your spirit you feel like I can kind of do that, but I can't do that. And I can't do that, or I'm not sure if I can do that. It's the thing that's stopping you from doing that. When I said the Nobel Prize, I promise you. Okay, so watch this. When I say I'm gonna win the Nobel Prize, people say what? That's a big one. That's a lot. And when they say that's a big one, that's a lot, what do they mean? You're not qualified, they limitations. So they say it with the limitations, but when I heard it, I didn't hear them. When I heard it, I was like, woo, I'm about to go get this Nobel Prize. I'm about to go get this Nobel Prize. And so when I spoke, I'm about to get this Nobel Prize. 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 I put it out in the atmosphere, and out of nowhere, people start sending me books on people who win the Nobel Prize. They sent me a book of like 100, 200,000 people who won it from the beginning up to now. Then people start calling me and invite me. Hey, E, I don't know if you know it, but we're having a Nobel Prize luncheon in D.C. Are you available? I said, I didn't even know they had a luncheon. I didn't even know like this was an organization. Like I thought I was the only one that said it. No, you're not. So when Harriet started freeing people, she realized you're not the only one and you're not the first one. And they introduced her to the other people that was doing it. When you start believing and start moving, you're going to start getting introduced to opportunities. You're going to start going behind closed doors. You're going to start doing stuff that nobody else is doing. Why? Because don't nobody even know that it's possible. This is just a small group of people that believe that's spending time together. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? When I said I wanted to be a billionaire, out of nowhere, I started hooking up with billionaires. I started running into billionaires when I started saying it. I started hooking up with dudes that own NFL teams, not the dudes that play. I started hooking up with dudes that own the NBA team, not the dudes that play.
Why are we afraid of things? No matter what anyone says to you, we all face a sense or have a sense of fear. It could be the fear of losing your child, to losing your dog, or whatever the case may be. We all have that fear factor. One of the things that you also have to keep in mind is that most of the times people are more afraid of failing something rather than embracing the fact that they failed. That's one of the things we're going to be really talking about during the course of the 7-day program for the Coach Payne Experience. Let's talk a little bit about fear and failing. Most people in the world today, they're so good at something. They get so good at it and they keep winning and they keep going and they keep thriving, and that one day comes, they fail and they can't accept it. Or they're just afraid to know that someday it's going to come to an end and they won't be as good as they were before. We all go through that. But we're going to talk a little bit about that during the course of the program for the Coach Payne Experience. Ladies and gentlemen, fear is nothing wrong with it, but you should not let fear control you. Don't let fear confuse your destiny. Don't let fear confuse your hopes and dreams, because that is exactly what it is designed to do, to take away your gift, or to take away your drive or determination to move forward. So even if you fail, that doesn't mean that it's over for you.
Fear does stuff to the body. Living under constant fear, though it is an emotion, it actually takes toll on the body. It affects your physical health. It even weakens your immune system, affects your digestive tract, does damage to your cardiovascular system. Fear does stuff that doctors can detect in the body, that you have no reason to be sick, and yet your body is responding to something that the doctor cannot detect. They're just seeing the effects of fear on the body. Irritable bowel syndrome, all kinds of stuff happening to you. Decreased fertility because you're afraid, because your body is taking all of your blood and directing it toward fight or flight. Increasing your sight so you can see, and your legs so you can run. The blood that normally feeds your body and your functions is fleeing because you are in fight or flight mode. So fear takes a toll on you, because our primal instinct is to flee or fight. But fear doesn't just take a toll on your body, it also takes a toll on your mind. They call it amygdala hijack. It affects your mind. It hijacks everything. Your brain perceives everything differently when you're afraid. You can't trust your judgment when you're afraid. You see everything as negative when you're afraid. It affects everything about your decisions when you're afraid. We used to call it paranoia. You're just paranoid. Is there anybody in here that's ever just been paranoid? The phone rings and you jump. or you just feel like something is about to happen. My wife describes it as if feeling like a balloon is full of water that's about to bust up over your head, and you don't know who's got the pin. Anxiety, it affects everything. And if you're up under it long enough, it causes the brain, now hijacked, to remember certain things like how something smelt, or a sight, or a sound will take you right back to that spot. So you end up with post-traumatic stress disorder. It's over, but it's not over for you. And there are triggers that can take you right back to that space, and you will react off a trigger though the problem is gone. I want you to think about that, because I think what I'm teaching right now has destroyed more marriages and more ministries than anything we could talk about. It's not what's going on, it's that what is going on is triggered something that went on. Nobody ever got destroyed by hoofbeats, but the sound of the hoofbeats is a trigger and reminds them of the abuse of 400 years. And Pharaoh has actually hurt nobody, but they heard him coming and they were struck with terror. You have to be careful. We were singing a minute ago, the devil is a liar, and he is, but the lie can be a trigger. And when he brings up what could happen and you remember something that did happen, it's almost as if it is happening. And all of a sudden you overreact in the situation, and people who haven't been through what you've been through don't understand why you are flipping out over this situation. But it's a trigger and you're horrified. And it doesn't always have to be a horse coming. It can be a heartbreak. It can be a disappointment. It can be a lost job. It can be a lost opportunity. And all of a sudden, instead of being rational and saying, well, I have to find me another job, you want to kill yourself. Oh God, my life is over. I'm cursed. Nothing goes right. And you just spasm out. And Pharaoh hadn't even touched you. You just heard hoof prints. And your life, your joy, your peace, your amygdala has hijacked the opportunity you have to be happy right now, because it keeps dragging you back into something that you are actually out of. Oh, y'all missed that. Y'all missed that. See, the Bible said the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And one of the things he will do is steal the peace of where you are with the threat of where you've been. And all of a sudden, when you hear the hoof prints coming, it's not like he got you, but it reminds you that he used to have you. And all of a sudden, it's as if you're already dead. Now they're cursing where they're at and wishing for where they've been and saying, why didn't you leave us in Egypt? Why didn't you leave us where we just got through praying to get out of? Because if you're not careful, fear will cause you to be stuck at 10 rather than risk going to 11. Oh God, who am I talking to? I'm talking to somebody. I don't know who I'm talking to. Somebody's getting ready to step into the next dimension, and God is getting you ready for something, and he needed you to hear